Hi there. So, thought I would do a little update because it's the first time I've altered something on the bike other than the tyres and the seat. And you might be able to see there's two wheels in the shot. One of them at the back is the 29er I've just taken off, and the one at the front is the 27.5 I've just put on. It's a Hope Pro 5 Fortus 30 wheel with a Michelin E-Wild rear. That's a 2.6 in the back. So I've not ridden it yet other than up and down the street just to make sure it's all okay, because I've probably only 10 minutes ago finished installing the wheel and installing the cassette, etc. Just in case you are wanting to do this to your bike or change the rear wheel but keep the same cassette, it is a Shimano HG cassette hub, wheel hub. So it's not an XD driver, even though it is a SRAM drivetrain. It's still a Shimano HG splined bit for the hub. The reason I did this, I'd watched some reviews by the guy on MBR, I can't remember his name, apologies to him. Check out his videos on it. He's mulleted the bike, same as I have, and he's left the flip chip in the 29er setting. So obviously gone into the app, changed the wheel size so the bike knows you're on a 27.5, but not done the flip chip. The result of this, according to him, and I've got to take his word for it, he knows a lot more than I do, is obviously a lower bottom bracket height and slackening the head angle. I think he said it was like half a degree or maybe even less than that it slackened the head angle by. But what he said was it gave a more in-bike feel, and it, you know, he hadn't really got any bottom bracket strikes on it or pedal strikes to speak of, and he just said it felt better. And it was something I noticed on the bike when I first got it. I did feel a bit on top of the bike, a bit perched, rather than in it. And it's not because I'm not used to 29ers. My Santa Cruz Hightower, that's a full 29er. My bike before that was a full 29er. So I am used to 29ers. I really wanted to try the mullet setup. I've only ever ridden one bike in mullet, and I can't say I was like, oh my God, this is a mullet setup. But it felt great, it handled well. So I thought, why not give it a try? It's not exactly a cheap upgrade, you know. I think the wheel was about 320-ish. I'm sure you can get a cheap one maybe, and certainly you can get more expensive ones. And the tyre, the reason it is that tyre is because I found it in the sale, and I thought, why not give it a go? Since it's something I'm not 100% on yet, I didn't want to go and buy like a 70-80 quid Schwalbe radial tyre or something and then go, I prefer it in 29. So yeah, I'll probably do a more in-depth review about the whole wheel size thing once I've ridden it a few times. As an update on the bike, everything's been performing great. The drivetrain's still working well. Not had any error codes, touch wood, finding some wood to touch. Not had any faults on it. Longest ride I've done so far is about 48 miles. It was kind of mainly meandering around, cross-country type trails, few decent climbs, few decent descents, mainly in eco and in auto mode. I've done a new app update where it's got the 1000 watts in turbo mode if you want it, and various other things you can alter. One of my favourite things was being able to decide how much charge to put in the battery. So because I recently hurt my back, rather than having it charged at 100%, I left it charged just to, like, I think it was 80, which is supposed to help with battery life. And it's probably something I'm going to do unless I know I'm going out on a ride, or a ride where I need 100%. Apparently charging it to 80% can help prolong battery life. It's something I watched reviews about when it came to your iPhone, your Apple Watch, things like this. I did install a bell, and that is because I ride out to my local trails using a lot of shared trails. I've never ever had a bell on my bike. I've always taken them straight off. But I have got a bit sick of people going, oh, I couldn't hear you, getting really close to them and then having to say excuse me, and I'm jumping out the skin. So I thought I'd try and, you know, put a bell on the bike, see if it helps. It might do, it might not, who knows. So the rear wheel is, like I said, 27.5. It's a 2.6 wide tyre, so it's definitely wider than the Maxxis I've just taken off. But as you can see, going down to the 27.5, it has then allowed quite a decent amount of mud clearance. It's still not a huge clearance down on the bottom, but certainly around this braced area, huge. Down at the bottom, huge. So if you did want to run like one of these Schwalbe radial tyres, which I hear do blow up quite big, running it in 27.5, I don't think you'd have an issue. But yeah, other than that, the bike's working great. I've still been fettling about a little bit with suspension settings, trying to get the pressure quite right. I think probably this year I'll get the fork extended to 170 travel and run another bottomless token in it. But other than that, fantastic. I think somebody had posted on one of the forums or one of the Facebook pages asking about whether you needed to upgrade a load of stuff when you buy the base model. Because obviously a lot of people have. You see a lot of them out there where people have put coil shocks on them, new drivetrains, different wheels, different brakes. Now, I'm not saying don't do that. I mean, if I had unlimited resources and funding, I would, of course, I'd upgrade parts on it. But at the same time, if I wanted all those upgraded parts, I'd have probably just bought the Pro in the first place. For me, everything on it's fine for me so far. I don't ride it super hard. I'll admit that. I'm a trail rider through and through. I'm not hitting massive jumps. I'm not hitting super gnarly enduro trails or downhill trails. You know, I'd say I'm hitting mainly blues and reds. And for me, it's perfect. It's light. It handles well. The performance forks, yeah, you haven't got probably quite as much support from them, I think, as the factory forks, because I've got factory forks on my high tower. But they are super plush, and because of that there is like a really nice kind of carpet feel to them, like that magic carpet ride feel. I think some of that has also come from putting the slightly softer compound front tyre on. But me personally, I think the drivetrain is what it is. When it finally is knackered, I'll upgrade it probably, but for now everything's working great. The dropper's working great. I've not personally had any issues with the stem. If I changed it, it might just be for personal preference or wanting a different colour or something. The Magoras have bedded in nice now and have got plenty of power. Probably will need a bleed this year. I do think there's quite a lot of dead lever throw. But if you are just getting one of these and you're finding the Magoras not as powerful as you want, try and bear with them. I do feel like once they're really bedded in well, the power just keeps getting better and better. I will probably go for some Galfa greens when the pads need changing. But other than that, yeah, dead happy with it. Had one issue with the crank, so there was a little bit of play. It's probably not easy to see, but I've got it lent against the crank. There was a tiny bit of play in the crank. Checked it with Amflow, and they seemed to think that it was normal. It was a normal amount of play. I'll just see if I can just get it to do it. But you can see it's hardly anything. It's hardly anything. It's really, 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 really tiny. I will keep monitoring it. If it gets worse, it'll be going back to the shop. That's what warranties are for. But so far, so good. Very, very happy I bought it. Slightly gutted that my local bike shop has now started stocking them. Who when I spoke to when I was buying the bike, they said, oh no, we're not going to stock Amflow. No, we've got no intention of stocking it. Went down to get the new rear wheel and they had an Amflow there. It's a bit frustrating because I would have preferred to buy it from them just so I had that closer proximity. I bought mine from MTB Monster and I've got no reason to suspect that MTB Monster would be anything but fantastic with dealing with warranties. It's just I'm about about an hour and a half away from them. So that's an hour and a half there, an hour and a half back, and if you have to leave the bike, you can double that again. So I don't particularly want to spend 6 hours travelling if I've got a warranty issue when my local bike shop's 20 minutes away. So a bit gutted about that, and it's something that if I was in the market to buy one tomorrow, I would work really hard to find one from a shop as close as possible, just so any warranty issues can be dealt with without huge journeys. Would I recommend it? Yes. Have I ridden the new Levo? No. Be very interesting to ride the new Levo and see how that compares. But anyway, once I've ridden it a bit more on the 27.5 wheel, I'll do another review. Pretty sure this has not been very helpful for many people, but if it has, great. If not, I apologise for wasting your time. Anyway, yep, get back to you soon with impressions of the ride on the mixed wheel setup.